Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your NXT Takeover Respect preview and predictions.
Yo, what's going on, guys? John, aka VocalAggression, here alongside my cohort in commentary, Ashton, for NXT Takeover Respect preview and predictions. Very interesting card. I mean, if you heard I believe it was just our most recent episode of NXT Well, you know that we're kind of looking at this as kind of like a B show of sorts in a way, because the NXT Championship is not at stake, and the NXT Women's Championship is main eventing, we believe, for that reason alone, and it's really centered around the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, both the semifinals and finals. That said, the card on paper does look very interesting, and, you know, given the preceding TakeOver specials, I do have high expectations for this one, Ashton.
Absolutely. I mean, my expectations are based exclusively on the main event because there are a few tag team matches on this card that look interesting, but not really overly exceptional by any means. And obviously, there's another Divas match on this card, and then a completely meaningless singles match between a couple of guys that we will end up talking about soon. But really, so far, we're looking at a 6-match card. I guess there's a possibility they'll add another match or two, but I kind of doubt it. I do know, though, John, and I don't know if you heard this or not, but this show is going to be 2.5 hours.
Yes, I was made aware of that. I read an article on No DQ. Everybody knows I follow that site, so I was aware. So that's very interesting to me, and I'm just very much looking forward to discussing this card with you, because you know how it goes, brother. You and I discuss a card, and then I end up leaving the table more amped up for the show than I was before. And considering this is NXT, that really does say something. So let's get started, bud.
All right, well, like I said, we might as well just get started on the match that has the least kind of repercussions surrounding it, the match that means the least, arguably. Apollo Crews versus Tyler Breeze. John, at first glance, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is just another example of them using Breeze to put over a younger, not necessarily younger, but newer talent. But the more I think about it, the more I think Breeze is going to come out of this with a dirty victory.
I would really like that, and I'm glad you said that, not necessarily because I co-sign onto that prediction, and I'll get to that in a second, but because I really actually believe, in a weird twist of events, that Breeze needs this victory more than Crews does. I don't want Breeze to become that guy that you build up on TV, and then he's merely fodder for your specials. And I feel like it's been kind of a trend that's been established with him. What I also find very interesting, Ashton, is you and I had that big, elaborate discussion about Breeze on the last, Twitwell, what his placement is he suffering from displacement in the grander scheme of things? And what's interesting, Ashton, is that you and me and a lot of people in the internet wrestling commentary like landscape have been talking about a similar subject line, like where is Tyler Breeze, where is he going? So I find this match interesting on that level. Ultimately, I am going to do the safe thing, and I am going to pick Apollo Crews, but I will make it known right now that I believe Breeze needs this victory more than Apollo Crews does. I would like to see Breeze come away with a dirty victory, but I do think Crews will get the win in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking more along the lines of what I think should happen rather than what I think will happen.
Right.
And to me, I think that getting Cruz's first loss out of the way this early is really smart so that he doesn't start drawing Goldberg comparisons.
Absolutely. And it's not just the Goldberg thing for me, Ashton, but, when you really look at the NXT landscape, NXT produced two of the best baby faces that I think we've ever seen in Sami Zayn and Bayley.
Yeah.
They know how to make a good baby face.
Exactly.
To me,
and what they're doing right now with Cruz isn't necessarily the way that they would do it normally.
Exactly. Crews, I think, could be a much stronger babyface than what he is if he has that vulnerability, if he has that struggle. That is not to say that he can't look game against Tyler Breeze. Of course he will. It's Tyler Breeze. He's the perfect opponent for practically everybody.
Right.
But I do think Breeze should get the victory here. I just think that they're going to keep having, like, this steamroller type mold for Apollo, which is really kind of disappointing because I really thought that Ryback, when he was doing that whole thing, was kind of a love letter to that whole mold, and I thought we kind of got beyond that. But, maybe that's not the case. So I'm thinking Apollo for the win, but I do love your way of thinking on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth noting that Bayley's first ever match on NXT was a loss to Paige.
Yeah.
And I know Sami Zayn on his first night won 2 matches, but there was more like they even played it off like it was like almost like a beginner's luck kind of thing because he immediately lost to Cesaro after that, despite beating him in the first night.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I think that a really, really well built babyface it's more important for them to lose convincingly than it is for them to just win.
Now, I mean, the exception to that, because we know
And
NXT
I
is,
apologize for cutting you off, but I want to
of course,
clarify. When I
yeah.
say lose convincingly, I don't mean decisively. I mean lose in a way that convinces you that they're really, really good and they should have won even though they didn't.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, the point I was about to make, actually, I think is quite complimentary to yours. Because, we know that characters like Apollo Crews, even in NXT, aren't necessarily new because we know that Big E went on a tear for a little bit and he had the 5 gimmick. But when you say lose convincingly, like he lost to an exposed turnbuckle because Bo Dallas was shrewd.
Yeah,
And that's how he
I
lost. Yeah.
guess convincingly shouldn't have been the word that I used there. Maybe lose honorably or lose despite having out wrestled your opponent. I don't know if there's a single
I,
word to
I,
say that whole line.
Well, in your defense, Ashton, I do think convincingly is the right word because when you show me, or when you're telling me through your actions, through your booking, that it took a foreign object or just the environment to take a man down because his opposition alone couldn't get the job done, that tells me that he's good.
Yeah,
That's
but I
why,
feel
yeah.
like when somebody says lose convincingly, it makes it sound like they're losing in a very convincing, decisive manner, and that's not
Oh,
what I
okay,
mean.
yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. I see what you're saying now. But yeah, we know that that guys like Cruz aren't new, even in the NXT framework. But I mean, just like Bo Dallas beat Big E with an exposed turnbuckle, it would be nice if Breeze, maybe he got a thumb in the eye of Apollo Cruz and then he hit that unprettier that he's been using, or that he used the one time against Ciampa, and it seems to be it's going to be his new finisher. Something
I will
like that.
say though, John, even though we talked about how Bayley's first ever match in NXT was a loss, I think that the way that they've built her up recently has been literally just her beating everybody. Because the last time she lost in a context where a lot of people saw it, meaning television or pay-per-view/live special, was May 21st against Emma.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like almost 5 months ago. It's been that long since Bayley's lost a televised match.
And it's funny because I still don't believe she's long for the NXT Women's Championship. Like people like her never have
Yeah,
long reigns to me.
we even said that with Sami Zayn too, and he lost it within a couple months.
Yeah, he lost his first defense,
Yeah,
or no, I think it was like his
second.
first, second defense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the
well,
first
yeah,
defense was in Neville again.
yeah, Neville again. So yeah, like Baby's like that. But you look at Apollo Crews because he's that bigger guy, because he's the powerhouse type. I think WWE has it in their mind. Well, to really show that power, obviously they need a string of victories to really legitimize it. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think you could be a bit more nuanced in this day and age, but that does seem to be the path they've taken with Crews.
Yeah,
I do hope he kind of slows down a little bit because look, I'm into Apollo Crews, but to me, I think he needs a bit. For me, he needs to be a bit more. I don't know what it was with Sammy that it worked for him, just being that simplistic. I'm feeling a disconnect
yeah.
with Cruz. That's just me being honest.
You
Like
know
with
why,
Sammy's,
John?
yeah. Why is that?
Because he's portrayed as perfect.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Nobody can
Yeah.
relate to him right now.
No, that's just it. That's exactly it. Yeah. I feel like Cruz is a guy. He comes in, he dominates, and I feel like if he was kind of like, I guess, tweener-esque and he had that chip on his shoulder, like, yeah, I'm big, I'm bad, and I can't be stopped, or just like that kind of swagger a little bit, then maybe I could like sink my teeth into it, be like, yeah, mess him up, kind of like Roman Reigns in the Shield. You know how I pop for that shit.
Yeah.
But when you come in and you're all smiles, like, man, I am so happy to be here, and everybody's so nice, like, okay, that's great, but like,
I
I
think
don't
that's the
know.
big difference between him and Sami Zayn is Sami Zayn was never booked overly strong. I mean, yeah, he won matches, but like even as a champion, he was never booked super strong. And granted, that only lasted a couple months, but before his rise to the championship, meaning like the month and a half return to glory that he was losing. Like I feel like he even lost to Tyler Breeze at
Yeah,
on an NXT live special for a number one contenders match.
yeah, he did,
So
because
yeah, I feel like if they really want, that's the thing too, is it really depends on where they want to go with Cruz. If they want him to be kind of that next in line top babyface like what they had in Sami Zayn, but now Zayn's going to be on the main roster. I'm assuming he returns at Rumble in January. I think that they need him to lose this match. On the other hand, he was showing some maybe like kind of creepy, borderline heelish kind of tendencies in the one promo with Breeze. So if they want to use this as an opportunity to turn him heel, it could go either way. They could have him win and just get cocky and obnoxious, or they could have him lose and explode.
yeah, it's funny that you say that, Ashton, because I'm not saying a babyface Apollo can't work. I absolutely believe it can work, especially with Full Sail, because Full Sail seems to have an affinity for physicality. I mean, you look at Big E, you look at Connor, they make those connections because they're aggressive, because of the physicality. So I think Apollo can do the same. It's not like a precedent doesn't exist for that. But do I think somebody with his look and his ability could thrive as a heel? Oh, hell yes. Oh, absolutely. So I really don't know where I am with Apollo Crews. I know I'm a supporter of his and I am a fan of his, but it's still kind of in that lukewarm phase, kind of like wait and see phase. I am
You know,
waiting for that first loss. I am waiting for that momentum, him getting in programs and
yeah.
whatnot. But yeah, this is kind of where I am right now, dude.
I know it kind of leaves Baron Corbin out in the cold a little bit, but I feel like when Hideo comes back and wins the title off Finn, Apollo would be the perfect guy to feud with him for that title as a heel.
Yeah, you know what? I could agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, I'm telling you, I was hyped about his debut, and I remember before he debuted, I said, I think the sky's the limit for this guy. He again, great look, great everything. It's just I don't think all the pieces have come together yet for this NXT persona, and when they do, though, I think he's going to be one of the most compelling people to watch. So I'm just in kind of that wait and see kind of phase of the Apollo Crews, but he will
By the
get a
way,
win.
John,
Yeah.
speaking of Hideo and Finn, I have one kind of bold-ish, maybe not really that bold kind of prediction, and then I have one really bold prediction to follow it up.
Okay, do you want to get into that now, or do you want to wait for a certain match to get into it?
No, I want to just say it now.
Okay.
The not super bold prediction that I think most people will probably even agree with is I think Hideo is going to win the title off of Balor at the beginning of next year.
Okay, I could co-sign on to that, sure.
The really bold prediction is I think Hideo versus Balor for the NXT title with Hideo winning will be on the WrestleMania card.
Wow, so you think NXT will actually get a spot at WrestleMania?
It might even be on the pre-show. It might be on the show, like maybe like a curtain jerker kind of thing. But I think that with the way that things are going, with the kind of so the upward trajectory of NXT as a brand, I think that Vince will be interested enough in the NXT title picture by then that he'll want just to get a piece of it on his biggest show of the year.
I could see that, dude. I mean, here's the thing. I don't find that to be entirely implausible because, I mean, NXT's at a trajectory
alternatively,
right now.
This isn't quite as bold of a prediction, but alternatively, because I do think that they're going to use WrestleMania and SummerSlam to have an NXT show on the Saturday beforehand, like what they did with Brooklyn before Saturday.
Right.
I think that might be the show then that Hideo wins the title off Finn if they do that. If they have the Saturday before WrestleMania and NXT show on the network, that'll be when Hideo wins the title.
Hey, man, I think both are equally viable. I mean, you
Yeah.
look at the trajectory of NXT as it relates to, even main roster eyes, like Vince and everybody kind of watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, its stock has certainly gone up.
It's crazy, dude. It's starting to really look like they're going to do bi-monthly live specials now.
I don't know how I feel about that, though.
Because they did August. Well, I think
Right.
they did one. I feel like they did one in June. Was it June or May that they did one? The one prior to Brooklyn.
I feel like that was that May? I feel like that was May. I'm not sure.
Takeover Unstoppable was in May. Yeah. So,
okay.
So it was 3 months between that and Brooklyn, but then Brooklyn a month and a half later now we're getting one now, and then we're getting another one in December. We'll probably get one in February, and then they're probably going to do one right before WrestleMania. So just immediately you've got an every 2 months, every 1.5 to 2.5 month kind of thing there. And I don't know if I like it, but if they keep on alternating where like the show before SummerSlam, December, the one before WrestleMania, and then I'm guessing probably another one between Mania and SummerSlam. I don't know when they would fit that in. Or like the big shows and the ones in between there are kind of smaller shows. I like that format. I mean, I'm not a big fan of doubling the number of shows that you do, but I don't know. I think that it could work. Especially, I think that my biggest thing is I love the idea that they're going to have a show before WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
I do too. I will definitely agree with you there. The oversaturation potentially does concern me a little bit.
Yes, yeah,
because,
I agree with that.
We talk about always like too much of a good thing, as the old adage goes. I will say this though, and this may seem a bit hypocritical because it seemed like we were kind of coming down hard on the show on the last NXT 12 hour. I think it does lead to the potential of kind of experimenting with your cards a little bit. Like I will say,
Right.
if you're a fan of tag team wrestling, I think you're going to lap this card up because I am a fan of tag team wrestling and I have been enjoying this tournament.
Right.
I still have my critiques of it like everybody else, but I think it does lend itself to kind of experimenting a little bit. Maybe they'll do, I mean, they're already kind of doing it here with the whole tournament based thing. Maybe another show could be revolving around this. I don't want them to kind of lose sight of what they're really about and kind of just, lose control of the ball or have it get out of reach from them, everything that they're doing. But, it's just interesting times for NXT. And I think this is a natural consequence of all the momentum they've been getting. This is bound to happen eventually. I think anybody that didn't see this coming to this degree, I'm not going to say you're foolish, but I mean, you got to pay attention. I mean, this product has been on such fire. We knew that something was going to have to change. So I guess this is a natural consequence of that, and we'll just see where it goes. But yeah, man, I love your idea, and I just think both are equally viable. And Hideo and Finn, when Hideo comes back, that'll be money. So I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we disagree on this because you're picking Cruz, I'm picking Breeze, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, we've taken enough tangents. Let's move on to our next match. The next match with the least meaning to it, Dana Brooke versus Asuka. Can we just say Asuka squash?
I was gonna say Asuka via murder. I can't wait for this. Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, to quote the Beast, it's gonna be ugly, people.
Dude, look, here's the thing, and this might be a first into it, because I feel like even in Johnny Mundo matches, I could give some semblance of like objective analysis, and sure I can here, but like, what do you guys want me to say? Like, it's Asuka's debut. She's the hot act. Dana Brooke, to her credit, has really been making me look forward to her receiving her comeuppance because she's been selling the fear well, and just being Dana Brooke. That's finally working to her advantage because I'm like, yes, finally somebody's going to come and shut that shit down.
Yeah, I feel like something might have clicked with her because do you remember a couple of weeks ago she cut that promo talking about how hard she works and we got on her case about that like crazy because she's supposed to be a heel. Well, the last couple of weeks she's been pure heel. She's been really trying to sell the fact that she's a bad person and people should want to see her get beat up.
Yeah. Absolutely, and I love it. And we even see people in our comments, and some bigger Dana Brooke fans than I can personally fathom, but we do see a lot of people saying, like, I'm not giving up on Dana Brooke. I do see something there, and
we've said that. We are unwilling to give up on NXT acts. We might not like them in their current state, Eva Marie looking at you, but we aren't going to just give up on anyone.
Dude, we are so committed. Like, our arms have got to be, like, falling off at the bone because it's like, no, I don't care how bad you are. I'm hanging on. And that's kind of how it is with Dana Brooke. Like, for me, I really have nothing, like, serious or objective to say about this match. I'm just having fun with it, man. Like, I am so pumped for Asuka's debut.
Yeah.
I've been hearing that it may not be long for her to start a feud with Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. Or just be in the title picture. I mean, that's something that I read.
I don't necessarily think Bayley is the correct name to use there.
Who do you think should
Nia Jax?
Well, and we may get to that later.
We will get to that later.
Oh, look at this guy. But I love it. I love that they know what they have in Asuka. I just think about all the matches that she could have. It's a shame that, I don't know what's going to happen with Sasha Banks after this takeover, if she's still going to make NXT appearances, because I want Asuka versus Sasha so bad now. Yeah. Like all the dream matches, though. But yeah, this is just going to be a really fun match. It's really, if you want an objective, serious analysis, here it is. This is nothing more than an exhibition match for Asuka for all the people that haven't watched her work in Japan, which I'm one. So,
well, yeah, we both are. I mean, we've both seen like videos, like 5 or 6, 7, 8 minute videos of what she has done, just kind of highlight clips. But I want to see her wrestle a full match.
Look, and I'm telling you, and everybody knows, like, I'm a big time MMR. Asuka may knock her off the perch because ever since she like debuted and she was so adorable, and she's like, yeah, dream come true, and then she smiles like that. Like anybody that has that duality of, oh, they're so adorable, and oh my god, slowly backpedal towards the phone. Like that is a woman I can get behind. So Asuka for the win.
Yeah, definitely. Man. Up next, though, let's talk about the NXT's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament semifinals. We've got 2 matches here. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe versus the Mechanics, and Jason Jordan and Chad Gable versus Baron Corbin and Rhyno. Let's begin with the, I would argue, slightly less star-studded match, Jordan and Gable versus Corbin and Rhyno. I'm going to tell you right now, John, I don't know if it's going to be before the match is over, causing the match to end, or after the match is over. I think Corbin and Rhyno are self-destructing here. Jordan and Gable win.
I agree. You know what? I know it seemed like I was kind of flip-flopping a little bit. In fact, I definitely was flip-flopping a little bit on the last NXT TwitWow, kind of having my doubts. Always seems to happen to me before a big show.
Yeah.
But you know what? This tournament, I really believe, was designed for a team like Jordan and Gable to get that legitimacy to become the contenders that we know they can be.
And not only legitimacy, but heat.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Which,
I mean, as much as people want to love Chad Gable, he is a heel.
That's true. He is. And what I like about these guys is I really haven't seen them yet, unless I'm missing something, really use like overtly dirty tactics or anything like that. Like they're heels in the sense like we're so good, we brag about it and we back it up, and
no one's gonna do anything about it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that, dude. I love that so much. I agree with you. Jordan and Gable for the win. So we know that that's one half of the finals complete, at least in our own minds.
Right.
Jordan and Gable go into the finals. So there you go.
And then our second match, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe versus the Mechanics. I think that this is going to be the last match that we see Finn Balor and Samoa Joe as a cohesive unit in, but I do think they're going to take the win here.
You know what? I think you phrased that perfectly, dude, because I think we're going to see the tension really start to mount here, but it's not going to be so much to cause them a victory, which, let me just say on a personal note, because this seems to be the most appropriate place to do it, is kind of a shame, because I love the Mechanics, and I'd love to see them in the finals. I think they're great. Even with all the exposure they're getting, I still don't think it's wrong to use the term underrated when describing them, because I don't think they're appreciated enough yet in this division. But they'll get their day. Everybody gets their day, and I still expect them to get an NXT Tag Team Championship match because they beat the Vaudevillains in this tournament. So I love the Mechanics to death, but I do agree with you. Joe and Balor for the win.
Absolutely. So then we come down to our finals. According to us, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the set in stone match. This is just what we're predicting. We're going to get Finn Balor and Samoa Joe versus Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, and I'm officially predicting the Balor and Joe fissure to occur, allowing Jordan and Gable to pick up the win, most likely pinning Finn Balor, because I think Joe's going to lay him out.
And see, oh my God, this is hilarious because you and I agree on everything except one fundamental point.
You just think Balor's going to be the turn?
I think Balor's going to do the turn.
I love that too. I hope you're right. I really do, because I want Balor to be like the hottest heel going, and I want Joe to have to overcome him in December and fail, and then Hideo to come back and be the just preserving or persevering, just awesome hero. And I want that really bad, but I don't know just how much I can buy into it, given how much of a babyface Balor has been portrayed as recently.
You know what? And dude, I'll be the first one. I will be the first one to come up here and say that I have lame duck reasoning for why I think Balor's going to do the turn. I mean, he's wearing the leather jacket. He's got Balor Club on the Titantron, so I kind of got that.
I love it, dude, and especially if the Bucks are seriously getting brought in for the December pay-per-view to face the Usos.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. And here are my other two reasons. One, I think it's kind of a fake out, because I think when we look at this dynamic and we look at who Samoa Joe is, it's Samoa Joe. So obviously they think, yeah, of course the killer's going to be the one to go heel. Right. We may be seeing a fake out. And
a swerve.
Yeah, and again, these are lame duck reasons. I'll be the first one to say that, but my final reason is...
I don't agree. I think that they're perfectly sustainable. I think that they're reasonable reasons.
But
the reasons are reasonable, John.
My final reason...
The reasoning is correct.
I appreciate that, but my final reason, I mean, even I could say is a bit, I just can't conceive the NXT champion getting pinned in a tag match. I feel like they want to protect him a bit more, and they want to really have him there. So I think Joe eating the pin to me makes more sense. And I don't know, man. I think Balor's going to be the one to do the turn. I'm glad you hope that I'm right, because I think everybody's been licking their chops for a Balor heel turn. And here's my thing, and this is just going off of when I watched him in TNA. I really don't like Joe as a heel anyway. I think he's so much better as a babyface when he's killing everyone.
Just a killer babyface.
Because to me,
when he's a heel, he tries too hard to be bad.
He tries too hard to be bad when he's a heel, and this is no disrespect to Joe, mainly because I want to live. But when he's a heel, he really is no different from anybody else. It's like insert monster heel guy here, and that's really a shame to say about Joe with how talented he is in ring. But it's really just how I see it. I think he's so much better as a babyface. And Jordan and Gable getting this win, pinning, like, they will brag about that forever until the vaudevillains show up to shut them up and we get our program. So Jordan and Gable to win the tournament. And the best part is, I don't know if they're going to use this for any kind of potential angle, because I know we got different things going on in the main roster, but Cody and Dustin, Goldust, are supposed to present the trophy. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a moment to cause heat, because they'll be babyfaces, because obviously it's their freaking dad. And Jordan
Yeah,
Gable
that was another thought that I had, was that maybe Joe and Balor would actually win the tournament, and then the turn would happen during the celebration.
That could be too. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. This is a tougher match to call, because you don't know, like, when the turn is going to occur.
That's the thing too. We feel like we know that there's going to be a turn, and we are so confident in that we're not even trying to decide if it's going to happen anymore. We're just trying to figure out when and how it's going to happen.
Dude, I can already tell you, I don't think this is going to happen, but let me just put this out into the universe. I can already tell you, live reactions are going to be so awkward if Balor and Joe win this whole thing and there's no turn, because I guarantee you, I'm going to be the guy that when they go to the back, I'm going to be like, so he's beating him up in catering, right? Like, it's going to be Ricardo Rodriguez and RVD all over again.
Yeah.
It
does feel like that, though, because we are making all these assumptions based on, a couple of odd glances, I guess.
Yeah, Joe's been touching the title. Balor's been kind of reacting weird to him at times. So you feel like, and I know that sounds weird saying it out loud, like, are these guys serious? But it's like, the table does seem to be set. The question is, when is the grenade going to explode? Yeah. And that's the thing. During the match, post-match, whatever. Because if it's post-match, Jordan and Gable, as good as they are, I don't think NXT would want us to believe that they're at the level of Joe and Balor combined. Come on.
Yeah, and that's my thing too, is like, I could 100% see either one of them eating the pin. I would want to say, oh, Jason Jordan's way more likely to eat the pin, but Gable ate the pin on the taping for after Brooklyn.
Right.
Against the schmaz babyface team that they had.
Oh, can you just imagine the Gable towel combined with the Dusty Rhodes trophy? Oh, just so good. But
Jordan holds the trophy, Gable holds the towel.
Yeah, there you go. See, like, it was meant to happen, man. We already have it figured out. But,
Jordan doesn't know what to do with his hands at this point.
Exactly.
It's something to hold. Something preferably big, heavy, and metallic.
Exactly.
And if they can't have a championship, which I'm sure they will eventually, but for right now, the trophy will just have to do.
Dude, like I told you, I love the vaudevillains, but I freaking love Jordan and Gable. Like, they're everything that I could ever want in a tag team. So obviously I want them to win this, and I am standing by my prediction that they are going to win this. But damn you, Balor and Joe, for being so dominant, because it makes it so hard. Like, they crushed Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Like,
yeah, but let's remember, Jordan and Gable beat them too, didn't they?
I don't know if they beat them in tag team action yet. Did they?
I know the Mechanics beat them.
Yeah, I know the Mechanics beat them. I don't know if Jordan and Gable ever got the chance, but I think they did take care of the Hype Bros, though, because that wasn't the Mechanics. Thank you, by the way, Jordan and Gable, for doing that, because that would have been an eyesore. But yeah, Balor and Joe, just the explosions, the wild card. I am hoping Balor does the turn. And yeah, that's all I really got to say about it. So yeah, Balor and Joe, they lose. Jordan and Gable win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Oh, man, I hope we're right on that, but there's a very, very distinct chance that Balor and Joe win the whole thing, and then just the turn either doesn't happen and we all get swerved by a swerve not happening, or they just do it during the celebration. And I'm almost leaning towards saying that, because I've almost got myself convinced, so I need to stop talking about it and we can just move on. Let's talk about the main event, John. Bayley versus Sasha Banks, 30-minute Iron Maiden match for the NXT Women's Championship.
Oh, I like that. Look at you. He's so good with words, isn't he, guys? Like, look at that shit.
I didn't come up with that on my own.
Oh. Well, that's
Thank you for the misplaced compliment, but it is misplaced.
I'm going to have to awkwardly recant that.
But I already thanked you for it.
Well, that's true. You know what? You're amazing anyway. You deserve a compliment anyway. Dude, like you, I never really like to plug alternative stuff, but there is something I gotta plug before I get into my analysis. Oh. I don't know if you read this. Dude, there was an amazing article written at Cage Side Seats about the Sasha Bayley feud.
Oh, really?
Like, dude, it went everywhere. I think one of the best, not just one of the best pieces I've read on this particular subject, but I think one of the best wrestling pieces I've read just in general in some time. Mick Foley tweeted it out, and Sasha Banks even retweeted it. So if you guys want to go on her timeline, I'm probably going to share the link on Tweetov when we're done here,
When did
because I
this
meant to
come
do that
out?
today. This came out, I think, October 1st.
Oh
So it's
wow,
been
so
a
this
few
was a
days.
while ago. How did I miss this?
How did I miss it too? I'm so glad Mick Foley tweeted it out. Dude, I read the whole thing. It goes places. I'm not even going to speak too much about it because I do want to focus on this match. But why I bring that up is A, it deserves to be read because the guy worked really hard on it, and I think it deserves the credit. But B, it shows you how attached people have become to these two women. You and I, we got a lot out of our system on the last NXT Takeover about what these women deserve and why we feel like even now all that glitters is in gold and they are getting shafted in their own way. If you guys want to hear all those complaints, please go back and listen to that because I'm not looking to revisit that, at least not completely. These women have done something extraordinary. They are two amazing characters, okay? And this match is going to be incredible. As far as the result, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think Bayley retains.
Yeah.
I don't see any purpose in Sasha regaining the championship, especially when, and I'm just going to say this now, jumping the gun just a little bit, I think after Hell in a Cell, if not beforehand, Sasha's going to be in that Divas Championship picture. And thank God for that because it needs her more than she needs it. And that's
I love that you said that so much.
Yeah.
Is Hell in a Cell on the 18th or the 25th?
It's the 25th.
It's
25th.
25th. So we still have plenty of time. I think Sasha might get added to the championship match between now and then.
And I agree with you. I am holding out hope for that possibility, but I'm telling you, the sooner she's added to that championship picture, the better it is for the title because she is the best thing going. Like, everywhere you look. And the same for Bayley, because the columnist whose article I just got done praising immensely even said, like, I don't mean to give Bayley the shaft, because Bayley is an amazing babyface, but Sasha is running the freaking world right now, dude. Everybody is talking about her, and everybody is talking about what a great wrestler she is. To me, this match is really her match to really punctuate her time in NXT. To say, like, I was the best that ever did it. Now it's Bayley's time to go and do her thing. And Bayley's amazing as well, again, as that babyface. And then Sasha goes on to, well, she would probably believe greener pastures. I'm a bit more contentious, but you get my point.
Yeah.
This match is going to be incredible, obviously. I don't know if it's going to top Brooklyn, because here's the thing. Brooklyn was completely organic. Brooklyn was an amazing story of just two people that have been going at it for the longest time now. And again, that columnist gets so into it better than I ever could. And Bayley gets her triumph. This feels a bit more manufactured.
Yeah.
As we talked about, trying to make it a bigger deal that I'm not going to say what it actually is, because it is a big deal. It is. These women have done something incredible. But you don't need to sell me on it. They sell me on it. They sell me on it when they share essays that they wrote in freaking grade school about how they were going to be here.
Yeah.
Like, we love these
That's
women.
my thing, too, is that, like, how much better and how much more forward to this match would we be looking if they had just said that it was going to happen, and then we got to, like, we know that this is going to go until 10:30, so we get to, like, the 9:30 point, and the Dusty Rhodes main event, the Dusty Rhodes finals announcement, like, starts, and we're just like, oh my god, John, this means that the women are main eventing, and we're, like, freaking out then. But no, they just straight up tell us, like, yeah, guys, you're main eventing. It's like, oh, well, I mean, I was anticipating it, but now I don't have to anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in a way, like, and you and I were so careful to word everything on our NXT Twitwout because we cannot stress enough. You've been Sasha Banks supporter like patient zero. You have loved Sasha Banks from day freaking one.
Since
Bayley,
she turned heel in, like, 2013.
But I think with her, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn with her it was a lot like Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, where you saw the potential in her even when she was kind of doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't anywhere close to as into her then as I am with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce now.
Right.
I definitely saw something, but I'm not going to try and act like I'm like some kind of crazy origin, just like you said, like patient zero. I'm not necessarily. I wasn't. It wasn't one of those things where, like, when I saw Sasha Banks that instant, I was like, oh my god, she's going to be great. No, it was really just hey, she works better in the ring than people give her credit for. and there's something there. And then when she turned heel, that was when it turned up, and I was like, oh my god, this woman's amazing. Give her everything.
Right, and I'll even admit, like, I've had my hot and cold moments, and I think you know this from past NXT 12 with Bayley. But I think I would see the reactions when they got out of Full Sail for Bayley, and I had to concede, like, holy shit, she is one of the best baby faces they have.
And
They
that's
have,
the
period.
thing too, dude. It's almost like we're like Triple H at this point, because he even said on the NXT panel from SummerSlam, like, there's some stuff that they go out there and the crowd absolutely eats it up, and he doesn't get it, and he's just like, well, whatever. I mean, I don't understand it. I can't get into it, but it's working, so go do it. That's kind of how we are with Bayley. Like, I like Bayley, she's good, but she does nothing for me personally as far as like, oh my god, I need to see her kind of thing. But I know how insanely over she is, so yeah, send her out there and let her put on 30-minute Iron Maiden matches.
Absolutely. Oh my god, yeah. And what's so great about Bayley, even though, like, I echo really all of your sentiments, you know, I love that old school vibe of her, that she really is that pure babyface that does experience conflict. I mean, her finisher is a belly to back suplex that she
Belly
calls
to
the
belly.
belly to belly. Yeah.
It's not a belly to back suplex, it's belly to belly suplex.
Well, belly to belly, I think it's almost like an overhead style, isn't it? And then belly to back would be when she does it kind of like the way she does it, like off to the side. But regardless,
belly to back is just literally the person's facing away from you, like almost like a Saito suplex is a belly to back.
Fair enough, fair enough. But regardless, like, her finisher's quite elementary, but it puts people away. Like, she's got that old school vibe.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Right.
I dig it. Whereas Sasha, she's all like, oh, that's nothing. Let me just do a lung blower here and then transition into a crossface. Like, okay, that's cool. You know, so I love them both. They're both fantastic. They deserve a main event, but to really be the main event. As if, and by that I mean, they see Balor walk into the current Avatar title events and be like, yeah, you did good. We're about to go do better. And, you know, I want that day for them. That day is not now, but I do think they're going to do great things here. As far as the match itself goes, I'm going to put it out there. I see it going to sudden death, kind of like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, because they've been making those comparisons. I don't see anybody getting any falls within the time allotted. They go to sudden death. Maybe it goes 5 more minutes. Bayley hits a Bayley to belly, gets the deciding fall. Yep. So Bayley gets the win. That's the exact structure I see it going down. Ashton, I know I've talked a lot about this match. If there's anything you want to get off your chest about this match, feel free to do it, bro. The floor is yours.
Well, I mean, first of all, I do think Sasha is going to kick out of at least one belly to Bayley.
Yeah.
It'll probably be for a tying fall, meaning, like, I could see Bayley getting one off early and getting a pinfall off of the first one she hits, but then later on in the match, as they're wearing each other down a little bit, Bayley hits one, and it's like 2-2 or 3-3 or something like that, and Sasha kicks out.
Right.
Like that kind of situation. My biggest thing that I really want to say is more about the post-match and what I think is going to happen after the match is over.
Okay.
But I think that what I'm most interested in here is just the story that they tell in the ring, because I think that if they wanted to be really smart about it and tell a story that works pretty much every time, they'll have Sasha cheat, giving Bayley the first fall, but using that cheating to set herself up in an advantageous position where she can get 2 or 3 falls in a row to set herself up with an early lead.
So, pretty much exactly what Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle did in their Iron Man match on SmackDown, because Brock did the exact same thing. Like, he low-blowed Kurt Angle, he brought the championship belt in, he hit him across the skull. I think he even used a chair. So he was behind like 3 falls, but then he was racking up falls like nobody's business because Kurt was just so worn out.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I could even see it be like a choke where, like, she has her pinned against the ropes and Bayley is like passed out and Sasha refuses to let go. And then the referee says, all right, that's it. Call a disqualification. And then Sasha goes out and grabs a chair and just starts wailing away on Bayley. And then she tosses the chair aside and waits for the ref to kind of set them up. And then she hits the, like you said, the lung blower. Or maybe she could even bring back Bankrupt. Hits one Bankrupt and goes for the pin, gets a fall, and then locks in the bank statement, gets another fall, and then maybe does something else for a third fall. And it's like immediately 3-1, Sasha has a 2-fall advantage. What is Bayley going to do to dig herself out of this hole?
Yeah. And I think they'd if they'd let any women have those kinds of liberties of like using porn objects, it's these women. I
think my thing is I just want to see someone pull out, well, specifically Sasha, pull out a chair.
Right, yeah.
Because that's honestly, you never, ever, ever, ever see WWE women use foreign objects. Never.
No, the
I think
last
the
time,
only
yeah.
example of a foreign object used by a WWE diva in the last decade is maybe Nikki Bella using the title to win a match. But I can't even remember what event that might have happened at, or if it did, or if I'm just making it up in my mind. But I feel like that's something she would do.
Hell, I mean, I'd have to go back even further for my memory personally. And the last time I remember women using foreign objects on each other that I can vividly remember was Trish Stratus versus Victoria back in 2002 at Survivor Series in their hardcore match they had for the women's championship.
Well, I mean,
Like,
a hardcore match, it makes sense, but
right. But I mean, like, in this kind of environment where that kind of stuff isn't sanctioned, I would love to see that.
yeah.
I would love to see that so much.
That's the thing, too, is Sasha is so beloved. It's really hard for her to get booed. But if she goes that far, and I could even go as far as to say that this almost reminds me of that Reddit poster that I told you about, where in the match where it was Finn and Joe versus Enzo and Cass, how Finn and Joe were just taking turns beating the ever-loving trash out of Enzo Amore, and it turned the fans against them almost. I want Sasha to do that in this match to Bayley.
Dude, you know what? It's funny you say that because while you were talking, I was thinking, and guys, I know I have a propensity a lot to be an asshole and really get behind the heels. I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just trying to think about how to get Sasha heat. I would take Bayley to the outside and look right at Izzy with each chair shot. And then pick Bayley up and put Bayley in front of Izzy's face. Is this your role model, huh? Is this your role model, huh? And then look at Bayley's face. I told you fairy tales don't have happy endings. And then slap her or something. Right in front of Izzy because the crowd's going to see that.
Yep.
And they're very protective of Izzy. So they're going to be like, oh, that bitch.
Yeah.
And then that's how
what I'm
the heat's
saying,
gonna be
though. That's the kind of length that Sasha needs to go to get some heat back because of how much people love her in that.
I agree. You know what? Izzy could be part of the show because I sincerely believe a fan like that could be the answer. When you're just tormenting the hero.
And again, this is us just being horrible people, but especially if Izzy cries over it.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I hate to co-sign onto it. Again, this isn't us trying to be a certain way, but yeah, and then because
they just show on the Titantron, they zoom in on Izzy, and she's got a tear running down her face, and immediately that entire crowd wants to burn Sasha alive.
Exactly. Now, unfortunately for Izzy, that may be a bit too much to take, given what you and I believe may happen in the post-match, because you think, oh, my hero won, and then...
That's what's so great about it, though, because that tells such an amazing story for Bayley trying to come up from the bottom.
Oh, it really does. Poor Izzy, man. Sacrificed for the benefit of the story. Oh, man. But yeah, I get what you're saying, man.
That's the thing, though, John. They have... she's benefited from the story, too, because they have given her a lot of feature on NXT. She's been one of the primary kind of aspects that this feud's almost revolving around. Is Bayley is looked up to by this little girl so much that they even called the girl and her family in to just spend a day with Bayley, and they're doing all this awesome stuff for her. Maybe just kind of do the opposite a little bit. It's not like you're actually hurting her. It's not like you're making her a show or doing any kind of physical harm to her. You're just emotionally devastating her a little bit.
It's like, stop hitting her with the chair. You owed us for this.
I mean, it sounds terrible when you say it like that, but yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, and look, again, this isn't me or Ashton trying to be a certain way, because I think you guys know when we are, but the point is, even
Sasha
if you don't
needs to work to get some heat back.
She does. She needs to get that heat back, because Bayley has this incredible ability, and I didn't think they were going to pull it off in Brooklyn, but god damn it, they did, and they got Bayley super over, and everybody was into the final count.
And do you know what the moment was that did it?
When Sasha was stomping on the hand?
Yep.
Because that looked pretty brutal, yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Bayley's reaching for the rope, trying to get out of the bank statement, and she just stomps on her formerly broken hand. Yeah, that was amazing.
And you know what? I think it's perfect. That's really all I can say. But now that we've really talked about the match, do you want to get more into the post-match and just kind of talk about that real quick?
Yeah, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. I think Nia Jax is going to show up and attack Bayley after this match.
I do too. I absolutely.
And I'm going to take it a step further. I think Nia Jax versus Bayley is going to happen in the UK. And I think to take it even further, Nia Jax is winning the freaking title from her that night.
And you know it really says something. I mean, normally I'm like, I'm pretty hesitant about that, or I have trepidation. No, I 100% co-sign onto that, dude.
Yep.
I think...
And then the live special the day before WrestleMania. We're gonna get Nia Jax versus Asuka.
That would be amazing build-up. Yeah, I could really get into that story for sure. And you know what, too? Here's the thing, too, and I kind of want to throw you this
Actually,
little curveball.
you know what? I might be hot-shotting a little bit there. They might do that next year before SummerSlam.
Maybe.
They might build up to a really crazy, like hardcore, like slow burn kind of build, and just throw all the baby faces at Nia Jax as champion, and no one can overcome her. And they're just building Asuka on the meantime, or in the meantime on the side, and eventually they clash.
Let me ask you something, Ashton.
Sure.
Not necessarily so much about Nia Jax, because you and I have talked about her a lot. I'm really in complete agreement with you. We've kind of hashed out the fantasy booking and how we feel like she should make her splash for a while now. I think kind of being the, just the whole spoiler of the whole thing. Like, oh, you're having a good time? Yeah, well, I'm here now. And then just destroying everybody. Yep. That's good stuff.
She could even beat up Sasha. I mean, obviously, after the match is over, it's like, okay, match is over now. We can love Sasha again. And then Nia Jax comes out and destroys her, too.
I think it'd be hilarious if say it went down the way you did with all the chair shots and everything. They're just kind of looking at each other and so it's just like, well, you beat me. I can see that you were better. Let's hug it out. We're still friends, right? And then Bayley's just like, I can't hate anybody. Let's do it. And then Nia Jax comes in.
And just destroys them both.
Yeah, destroys them both. Yep. But here's my question for you. Because if it goes down the way that we've conceived it, which again, we agree that we're both in complete agreement.
Actually agree with me when I say that she's going to win the title from Bayley at Brooklyn, or at UK.
Yeah, completely.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, Bayley is not meant to be a long reigning champion. I've been saying that, I think, since she won the damn thing. Yep. But here's where it gets interesting. Because how soon after she does this drop and everything do you see Bayley going to the main roster? Because I don't think it'll take long at all.
I've been expecting her to debut, it feels like, every week for the last 2 months.
Yeah. So
like anytime somebody gets brought up that's like, oh, well, maybe we can have somebody help us. I'm like, okay, so is Bayley going to come out now? But then it doesn't happen. And now I feel like PCB is missing a third person. So yeah, naturally it makes sense. Bring Bayley in and let her team up with Charlotte and Becky.
Yeah, I like that.
And then maybe bring Sasha in and we can have a 4 horsewomen again.
And really, despite all the punishment and agony that Bayley's going to have to endure both at Sasha's hands and Nia Jax, it's going to be worth it in the end. Because let me just remind everybody that the post-match Fallout promo that Bayley gave when she was holding the title, the one thing that tugged at my heartstrings, the man that's looking forward to see Kevin Owens powerbomb Sami Zayn on a ring apron all over again, was, and I stand by it. Well, not her family. No, it was her saying, it makes me so sad that they're up there. I want them to be here all the time. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be alone. And I'm just like, So, for the sake of their friendship, damn it, she needs to be punished and abused and lose that championship. It's for a good cause. It is for a good cause.
Oh, my God.
Look, Undertaker...
No, but seriously, you're completely right.
Yeah, I mean, Undertaker once told Shawn Michaels, sometimes it's hell trying to get to heaven. Bayley, you gotta pay the piper a little bit, all right? Just go through it, go to the main roster, and then never leave your girlfriends again because it's beautiful, damn it, and it makes me cry inside.
Can you stop slamming your fists down on your desk, please? I can hear it through your headphones.
I will not. Okay, I will. But more importantly, yeah, I do think after Bayley drops the championship, which again, we both agree is going to be relatively quickly, it won't be that much longer when she's on the main roster. She gets in the mix. And then please, for the love of God, we do something productive with these women. Because I don't know if I can take...
I mean, it's starting. It's a lot closer now than it was, a month and a half ago. When we were getting nothing but 3-on-3 matches.
And I'm still a little ad about it, though, because I still don't understand in what universe having Natalya go over a recently turned Paige makes any sense. So I think there's still some...
Yeah, I'm hearing that Paige is in the doghouse now, so...
For what?
Hell if I know, man.
Oh my God, why is everything
Maybe she was a little too real in her shoot promo.
Oh my God. Paige is ruining the Bella brand with all her...
Yes! Dude, they did it to AJ Lee, they did it to Maria. It probably was the Bellas complaining to management.
Oh my God. But you know what? Screw it. I can't wait to see all the 4 horsewomen together again.
Mark Carano, you need to realize that the Bella brand is stronger when we don't have people questioning how we got to the top.
And then Mark, the scumbag that he is, makes sense to me. And then just...
Let me go ask Johnny, Big Johnny, about this. Oh, wait, he's married to your mom.
Oh, nepotism and just all that politically concentrated power. But yeah, I can't wait for the four horsewomen to be together again. And speaking of
Don't
the
even
four
try and
horsewomen,
act like it's not absolutely retarded that the Bella's mom is dating / engaged to the former, what was it, vice president of
executive
talent
vice president of
relations.
talent relations,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they're both dating the top baby faces in the company. Like, when you need to, in real life, surround yourself with that much legit power, you seriously have some inner reflecting to do.
I love that we offer side chair psychology sessions now. Twitlow does everything. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There are definitely some deep rooted issues there.
Yeah.
But I can lighten the mood a little bit. Did you hear the latest joke that that Becky Lynch told to I forget Cody Rhodes' wife's name.
Eden,
What's Eden? Yeah. Did you hear the joke that she told
aka
Eden?
the most grating voice on the planet.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Ashton really hates Eden's voice. It's kind of like how we all hate BJ Whitmer's face. I don't know though. Maybe a bit better, maybe a bit worse. I don't know. But
John, if I had the choice between looking at a picture of BJ Whitmer's face for 5 minutes and listening to Eden Styles' ring announce for 5 minutes, I think I would choose the former.
okay. But if you had to listen to Eden Styles ring announce for 20 minutes, but then you got to spend the whole day with Adam Cole.
Oh,
Uh
that's not even like that's like me asking you if you'd rather eat a chocolate bar or shit.
Well, fair enough, but the joke that Becky Lynch told Eden Styles in her own awkward and adorable way, even though I did kind of groan, but in that way of like, oh, I just want to hug you so that you don't tell jokes. What does a ghost dress up as for Halloween?
Oh, are you actually asking me? I thought you were just
Yeah.
going to tell the joke.
Well, I was hoping you'd play along and be like, what? And then, we'd kind of do it.
Oh,
So.
what does a voice dress up like for Halloween, John?
A ghost dresses up as John Cena because you can't see him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the joke she told. I kind of
Yeah,
groaned a little
it would
inside.
have been far more adorable if I actually heard it delivered from her face.
Yeah. Yeah, my face really doesn't compare. But anyway, that gnawing depression aside, I'm really just looking forward to all of them being together again because maybe Becky will she'll have something to do and everybody will have something to do and it won't just be so concentrated with the Bellas and Charlotte Flair nepotism version and not genetically superior and I don't know we didn't have a lot of bugs to work out. But as far as this match.
WrestleMania 32 Fatal 4-Way, please.
Yes. Yes, either Fatal 4-Way or just Bayley versus Sasha because that's their dream and dreams deserve to come true, damn it.
I said Fatal 4-Way, thank you.
Yeah, and I co-signed onto it and I said if not Fatal 4-Way then just that one-on-one match. You stepping on my turf, bro? Like that. Oh,
I say
man.
something and you're like, that or you discredit my opinion, John.
Oh my God! Look, you discredit your face. Okay, sorry. We're going places. But look, I'm excited for this clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad we talked about it. Nia Jax to dominate and make her debut. I know some people are a bit skeptical about that because they're like, well, Asuka's debuting the same night, so let's make it about the women for a change. Let's just bring all of them in. And yeah,
Jax
exactly.
destroys everyone.
I can disarm you with a smile, but I prefer this bear hug that I'm going to use. Okay? And then just
why are you so dead on convinced that she's using a freaking bear hug?
Because we booked it and it makes sense, damn it.
Oh
Should happen.
My God.
Look, I am hyped up right now. All right, it's your
I'm
fault.
glad you're hyped up, but tone it down.
Are you telling me to calm down right now?
I said tone it down.
What's the difference? Yeah.
Oh, finally, John. Finally, a website has Nia Jax's height listed somewhere.
Oh, nice. What is her height?
5'11".
Not bad.
So she's technically the tallest diva on the roster, but only by an inch. Because I'm pretty sure like Summer Rae and Charlotte and maybe even Alicia Fox are all 5'10".
Right.
I'm not sure on Fox, but I'm pretty sure Charlotte and Summer Rae are both 5'10". But it does list her at 200 pounds, so she's got a massive size advantage over everybody else.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure even Summer and Charlotte are both probably under 150.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. And so I'm gonna be honest, with all the giggles and everything else, I feel like I haven't had anything productive to say for at least like 5 minutes. So I think I'm pretty good on this match and the post match. So if you have anything else you want to say, I'm just gonna keep giggling while you close this out.
All
So
right. Well,
yeah.
yeah, I'm good with that. And ladies and gentlemen, I am really, really looking forward to our live reactions to this show. I do want to apologize to everyone that we didn't get our Madison Square Garden live special house show live reactions out, but it was a combination of two things. First of all, my internet took a dump. I don't know why or what caused it, but I managed to go upstairs and wriggle some wires around and do some speed tests, and I got it fixed yesterday, just so that we could do this recording today. And not only that, but even if we would have been able to get my internet working prior to that, the show just wasn't worth reacting to. I don't think it was even really worth watching. I don't think I watched the whole thing. I remember it was Saturday, so I was probably watching college football instead. But we are definitely doing live reactions for NXT tomorrow night, as well as Lucha Rewatch, which I'll try and have up before the NXT show starts. Plus, guys, and this isn't actually us, but it's probably going to be worth watching. WWE's new series, Table for Three, has been incredible. And this week, I believe, is like an indie darling episode. Like, it's going to be Kevin Owens and Cesaro, and who else was it, John?
Wasn't it Seth Rollins or no?
No, I don't think
No,
it was
was it
Seth
Seth Rollins?
Rollins.
Cesaro, Kevin Owens, and who else? Because I thought it was gonna be Seth Rollins,
I
but
know it wasn't Ziggler because he was just on the Intercontinental Champion episode.
wasn't Dean Ambrose, was it?
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, I think it was Dean.
Okay, because I knew it was one of the two Shield guys. Because again, Indie Darling episode. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
yeah, that's what it is. It's Ambrose, Owens, and Cesaro on Table for Three this week. Last week's was entertaining too. Bryan, Ryback, and Ziggler. That was great. But yeah, Table for Three is worth watching, and it's on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. We've been watching it. I don't think we're going to bother reviewing it because it's just kind of a sit down, turn your brain off, and enjoy yourself kind of thing. But we will be here for Lucha Rewatch tomorrow. Like I said, I'll try and have that up around 7, maybe 7:30 at the latest. And then NXT Takeover Respect. 2.5 hours, baby. They added a half hour. And we'll be live reacting to it all the way. And ladies and gentlemen, I know PWG Bola has been delivered. The DVDs have been delivered. I'm just waiting to find a version of it that I can watch. And we will 1,000% live react to all 3 stages. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. And until then, we will see you all for Lucha Rewatch and then our live reactions to NXT Takeover Respect.